Good evening. I'm Ty Hernandez at ABC News headquarters in New York. We interrupt regular programming to bring you breaking news. Congressman John Lewis has died, a hero of the civil rights movement. John Lewis stood shoulder to shoulder with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., fighting for equal rights, and later became a longtime congressman from Georgia, often referred to as the conscience of the House. Late last year, Lewis announced he was undergoing treatment for stage 4 pancreatic cancer. In his statement announcing his illness, Lewis said, "I have been in some kind of fight for freedom, equality, basic human rights for nearly my entire life." He went on to say, "I've never faced a fight quite like the one I have now." ABC News' Byron Pitts looks back at the iconic life of John Lewis.
John Robert Lewis didn't simply witness history, he shaped it, marched for it, bled for it, not once, not twice, but every time he was called upon. As Lewis liked to put it, by just getting in the way.
Keep marching, keep sitting in, keep standing in, keep protesting until the sagging walls of segregation come tumbling down.
A sharecropper's son born in Troy, Alabama, 1940, back when segregation was law. Jim Crow, the enforcer. The Montgomery bus boycott drew the attention of one teenager, and soon civil rights would become John Lewis's life work. And it nearly killed him. As a student at Fisk University, Lewis graduated from lunch counter sit-ins and bus boycotts to freedom writer, as would become his habit. Where John Lewis put his heart, his head followed. That's him, bruised, bandaged, after he and other writers were beaten, shedding blood and standing up when others could not or would not. That became Lewis's calling card.
We must cry, and we all must cry together, that we want our freedom and we want it now.
By 1963, at the age of 23, alongside Martin Luther King Jr., he was dubbed one of the Big Six leaders of the civil rights movement, who helped plan the historic March on Washington.
My friends, let us not forget that we are involved in a serious social revolution.
And on a high bridge in Selma, one of the low moments of the entire civil rights movement, there out front, John Lewis. 600 peaceful protesters crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge into the harsh heat of history. It would be known as Bloody Sunday. Violence unleashed by Alabama state troopers. Lewis, struck in the head, suffered a fractured skull.
I was the first one to catch the blow.
John Lewis was elected to Congress in November of 1986. He served as U.S. Representative of Georgia's 5th Congressional District, where he continued to get into what he called good trouble.
I got arrested 40 times during the 6th District. And since I've been in Congress another 5 times.
Lewis was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the country's highest civilian honor, in February of 2011.
Generations from now, when parents teach their children what is meant by courage, the story of John Lewis will come to mind. An American who knew that change could not wait for some other person or some other time, whose life is a lesson in the fierce urgency of now.
In recent years, he was an outspoken critic of President Trump, skipping the president's inauguration and first State of the Union address. He also took part in widespread protests against the president's zero-tolerance immigration policy.
We are getting in good trouble to set people free. I will go to the borders. I get arrested again.
Lewis often reminding people to choose love over hate, courage over fear.
It doesn't matter whether we're black or white, Latino, Asian American, or Native American. It doesn't matter whether we are straight or gay. We are one people. We are one family. We all live in the same house.
Quite a legacy. That was ABC's Byron Pitts reporting, and Byron joins us now. Byron, how will John Lewis be remembered?
I think tonight, John Lewis joins the League of Giants in American history. This is a man who was a part of history, who gave all he had to it. You know, in the course of my career, I've interviewed presidents, warlords, dictators, gangbangers. John Lewis was the toughest man I've ever known. He was also the gentlest man. he was someone in Washington where it's hard to make friends. There are lots of people who did not like John Lewis's politics, who you won't find a person who didn't respect the man, and most people love the man. A lot of us, talk the talk. John Lewis talked it, walked it, lived it. He is one of those forces in American history that when he was called upon to put his life in harm's way, to, in his best estimation, to help make America better, he did. And, I spent a lot of time with Congressman Lewis, and for all the dark days in American history that he witnessed, he was a part of, he was also one of the most optimistic people I've ever known. He loved America as much as any American I've ever met. He'll be remembered as a man who gave his full measure to this nation every time he was called upon. And tonight, as I said, he rests with giants.
All right. Thank you for your perspective, Byron. ABC's Byron Pitts reporting. Congressman John Lewis, a hero of the civil rights movement, has died. He had been battling pancreatic cancer, and he will be remembered for his long history in politics and for the fight for equality. I'm Ty Hernandez at ABC News. To find out more about the life and legacy of John Lewis, stick around for Good Morning America and tune into abcnews.com. Thank you for joining us.
This has been a special report from ABC News.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.